Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to be answering some of your most frequent questions. These are questions that I especially gotten via email and Instagram. If you have any other questions that you would like me to answer in a future video, make sure to leave those down below. Oh, and before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Okay, let's get started with question number 1. Okay, this one is super common. What supplements should I take? Well, it depends on the person, but I'll tell you guys what I take and what I think is most important. When I was pregnant, I made sure to get my blood work done and get tested to see if I had any deficiencies. And the only thing that I was deficient in was vitamin D, and especially you don't want to be that deficient if you're pregnant. So I started taking 5,000 IUs a day of vitamin D. Vitamin D is often sourced from lanolin, from sheep's wool, and so obviously that's not vegan. So make sure that when you do buy a vitamin D supplement that you buy it a vegan one, and the vegan ones are sourced from lichen. I'm going to link some brands that I use down below. Now, do you need a vitamin D supplement? Some people would say yes, others would say it's not that important, especially if you get plenty of time outdoors in the sun. It's honestly very difficult to get enough vitamin D from the sun in our modern day lifestyle because we simply don't spend that much time outdoors. So my recommendation is simply to go and get your levels tested and see if you're deficient in anything before you decide to self-supplement. Also, if you're vegan, whether or not you have a deficiency, but especially if you have a deficiency, you should be taking a B12 supplement. B12 is actually produced by bacteria. The animals that we eat and us as humans, we just don't get B12 from bacteria the way we used to get it. So just take a B12 supplement. It's super easy. You can take it as a spray, you can take it as a little chewable tablet, you can take it as a pill, you can even get shots of B12. I take a chewable tablet and I also take the spray, depends on what I'm in the mood for on any given day of the week. I'm not a big fan of multivitamins just because there's so much junk in a multivitamin and most of it you simply don't need. So even when I was pregnant, I didn't even take a prenatal. What I did was I took my D, I took my B12, I took folic acid or folate, the kind that's actually the most well absorbed by the body. I got my blood tested to see if I needed to take anything else. I didn't have any iron deficiency, so I didn't take iron. If I do take a multivitamin, I have been taking the Ritual one. I have a discount. I'll share that down below. But I've been taking Rituals because it's only got 9 nutrients in it. Things that you actually need. They're all vegan. It's got vegan D in there. It's also got omega-3 in there. Okay, so that's my stance on supplements. I'm not a big supplement person, clearly. Okay, so our next question, is soy bad? Is it going to give you cancer? Is it bad for you if you already have had cancer? Is it bad for you if you're a man? Is it bad for you? Blah, 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 blah. The science, the evidence that we have about soy, which we do have plenty, is that it is not bad for you. It's actually quite good for you. A lot of people say soy is bad unless it's fermented and you're eating it in the form of tempeh or miso. But that's not actually true, according to the science that we have, right? So I'm going to link some studies down below that can help shed light. I can also link some other videos that can help shed light. Even for people who have already had cancer, especially breast cancer, the evidence does not show that it's bad for you. Rather, it shows that it can be supportive in your health in helping to reduce your risk of that breast cancer coming back. Another thing is it is not going to give you breast cancer either. Soy, as I'm sure we all know, is a plant, and sure, it does have phytoestrogens, but the phytoestrogens do not act the same way in our bodies as human estrogen does, the human hormone that women have more of. However, keep in mind that if you're eating dairy and you're concerned about hormones, that's where you should be concerned, because if you're having dairy especially from cows, but also from other animals as well, that estrogen is a lot more similar to our human estrogen, obviously, because we're all mammals. If you're concerned about putting estrogen in your body, be concerned about dairy, not about soy. Like I said, I'll link some stuff down below to help make that more obvious and clear. I've been eating soy since I was a little kid. I didn't always like it back then, but my dad is a huge tofu fan. I don't have any issues with it. I feel the healthiest that I have ever been. I can't even imagine being healthier, though when I get in shape, I will be. But yeah, from personal experience, it's great also. But don't take my word for it. Read the studies that I'm going to share below. Okay, this one's a really important one. Do you get enough iron in your diet? This is another one that I get in a lot of different forms. Like, if you're vegan, do you need to take a vitamin or an iron supplement? Or if you have a history of anemia, can you be vegan? So me personally, do I get enough iron in my diet? Yes. I've gotten my iron levels tested multiple times, especially in the last year and a half when I was pregnant and after the baby was born. I get plenty of iron. That's great. And I don't take an iron supplement. I get all my iron from my diet. One thing that's super important to keep in mind is that basically the way you can increase absorption of iron in your body is by pairing it with vitamin C. And if you're eating a whole food vegan diet that's full of vitamin C from fruits and vegetables, then it's going to help your body better absorb the iron that you get. If you eat meat, you're getting iron in the form of heme iron, which is the type of iron that we have in our bodies too. We're all animals. Cows are animals. Humans are animals, obviously. Heme iron, it's a lot easier for you to absorb that type of iron. However, that doesn't mean it's the healthiest type of iron, and nor does it mean that you cannot absorb iron from plant-based source, which we would call non-heme iron. The majority of people who have anemia are not vegan or vegetarian, and vegans and vegetarians do not have any higher risk of getting anemia than the rest of the population. If you want to make sure that you're getting plenty of iron, just make sure you eat a wholesome, plant-based diet. Avoid too many processed foods. Eat mostly whole plants. I say that in like every video, and it is the truth. If you have a history of anemia and you really do need to watch your iron levels, I recommend the Blood Builder supplement from Megafood, which is a gentle iron supplement, and it is all food-based. So it's not going to cause constipation. Even I can take it as someone who doesn't even need iron supplements. So keep that in mind. Next question. I like this one. Do you have a cookbook? Yes, I have a cookbook. My cookbook is called Sweet Potato Soul. Most of you guys already know the answer to that question, but just in case you didn't, yes, I do. Sweet Potato Soul is my cookbook. It came out in 2018. It's amazing, and everybody should have it. If you want to buy it, you can buy it wherever books are sold. If they don't have it in stock, make sure you have them order it. Or you can just order it yourself online, like on Amazon. And here's a copy right here. This is my kitchen copy, so it's pretty filthy, but it's a great cookbook, so I hope you will buy it. Okay, next question. What do you clean your veggies with? Okay, that's a good question because, you know, you read about vegetables being contaminated and people getting like E. coli and all that and just getting sick. So honestly, I mostly buy my produce at the farmer's market. Luckily, we live in Los Angeles now, so I can do that all year round. And when I bring stuff from the farmer's market, I only wash it with water. I'll do like a double rinse when it comes to greens and lettuces and stuff. So I wash all my greens, lettuces, and herbs in a salad spinner. I just put them in there, submerge it with water. You know, the salad spinner has the outer ring, like bucket, and then it has the colander thing on the inside. And that way I can wash it and get it all, like shake it around, make sure the dirt and everything comes off of it. And then you can lift up the colander and all the sediment and dirt is still in the bowl. Pour that water out and then I'll do another rinse. If the greens are super dirty, obviously I'll do that more times until it's, you know, clean. But typically I only wash them twice. When I do buy greens and such from the grocery store though, I usually wash those with a blend of water and white vinegar because white vinegar helps to kill bacteria, and you just don't want that. And you don't know what you're getting from the grocery store and how many different hands have touched it. I usually put maybe like a half a cup into each time I rinse it into the bucket, the salad spinner. I'll link my salad spinner that I love down below. When you buy white vinegar, highly recommend buying a huge size. You can buy it at the grocery store, or if you've got a Costco membership, buy it there. Just, you know, less plastic. It's just more economical to buy it that way. It's super cheap. And if you're gonna be eating a lot of vegetables and buying them from the grocery store, you're gonna need that. Okay, how do you get over cheese cravings? Okay, now I was never a huge cheese person, but I remember before I became vegan, the last thing I had to give up was cheese pizza, New York pizza. I didn't think I was ever gonna give it up. I said I could be vegan, but I'm not gonna give up pizza, not that pizza especially. So I get it. So luckily this is, you know, 2019. I don't know when you're watching this video, but right now it's 2019, and there are so many amazing vegan cheeses on the market. There are great ones that are meltable. My favorite meltable like cheese for pizza is Follow Your Heart brand. Also, Miyokos has a meltable mozzarella that you can also put on pizza. You know, just full disclosure, I'm allergic to cashews, so a lot of these cheeses I cannot have. But look, I gave up cheese, I gave up cheese pizza, and I can't have cashews. And I'm vegan, and I have been for 8.5 years. So if I can do this, you can do it, because you can probably eat cashews. I mean, most of y'all watching can eat cashews, so you're lucky. Try Miyokos. Violife is supposed to be a really good one as well. That one is not cashew based. I haven't tried it yet. I need to get my hands on that like today. Like I said, Follow Your Heart is my personal favorite that I've had for cheese pizzas and stuff like that, enchiladas, nachos and such. Cheese is actually addictive, so it's not easy to give up. It is literally addictive. It's got something in it called casomorphines. It gives you that like drugged out feeling when you eat it. So we get it. It's really hard to give up. But check out the vegan cheeses. If you don't like one that you try another. On my blog, I have like a sunflower cheese recipe that's really good for crackers. There's also, from the grocery store, you can buy Treeline, you can buy Kite Hill. There's like cream cheeses that I like that are really good for baking also. Nowadays, there's just so much out there, so just make sure you give it all a try until you find your favorite. In my book, I have a fantastic recipe for vegan mac and cheese. And that one, it's totally nut-free. I use sweet potatoes. I use nutritional yeast, which is a must-have for any vegan, really any human. But we vegans, you know, we know all the extra special stuff like nutritional yeast. It's a really great condiment that has a cheesy, nutty flavor. I sprinkle it on top of pasta, enchiladas. I make my vegan cheeses with it. Ooh, look, and this is my book. Cream cheese pound cake. Okay, vegan. And for that one, I use the Trader Joe's cream cheese. Oh, look at this mac and cheese. Come on. It's amazing. So yeah, nowadays you can make so many great vegan cheese dishes. So don't fret, just be open-minded and be patient. You will find something for you. Okay, this next question is really for Max, but you know, I know a thing or two. We talk about it. Do you have any composting tips? I recently posted a little video on Instagram of Max stirring and adding food scraps to our compost bin that we have in our backyard. Okay, composting tips. 1, stir often. Stirring often will help you to aerate the bin, help for the bacteria, really the bugs, to eat and break things down better, for them to get into crevices, for compost at the bottom to come to the top and help break down everything else. You need to have a nice balance of dry and food scraps. So the dry stuff that we use, or cut up old cardboard boxes. Max has a shredder that he bought on Amazon, and he just shreds cardboard boxes. We get a lot of shipments, so we have a lot of cardboard boxes, and all those cardboard boxes end up in our compost bin in the backyard, which is great. We have this compost bin, it's right behind me. We've had it for 2 years. We've lived here for 2 years, had it the whole time, and we have never taken compost out of it. And it's still not full. Okay, you get that? It is 2 years worth of food scraps in that bin. And it's just amazing just how much it breaks down, that we haven't even had to remove anything from it. It's just breaking down into smaller pieces. And when we put it back here in our backyard, the whole back was just sand. That was it. It was like totally dead. There was no weeds or grass or anything. But since having that compost bin, all the ground, the dirt around it has gone from sand to soil. And so now we have plants back there that are just growing wild, and mushrooms back there that I do not eat, weeds back there. It's super cool, and it's really nice to see like how much your food really can break down given the chance. Because if you put food scraps in the regular trash can, it ends up in a landfill. Landfills do not get stirred like compost bins, and they just get pushed down. Everything gets pushed down and trapped, and it is so trapped, and no oxygen or anything can get to it, that even food scraps cannot break down. Biodegradable material like a banana peel can't break down. I mean, it can, but it takes way, way, way longer. And in the meantime, it lets off methane gas and other toxic things and pollutes the land around it. So it's really cool that if you just compost your food scraps, you don't contribute to growing waste problems in landfills, and it helps to nourish the soil. And you can just use it for your garden if you've got one too, which is our next step, hopefully. Goals. I will share a link to the composting that we have in our backyard. We bought it actually discounted from the city of LA because Max went and took a composting workshop that the city puts on, so they gave us a discount for buying it there. But you can buy it on the internet as well, so I'm going to link that so you guys can get started as well. And I want to do a little Instagram video, maybe like an IGTV of composting tips. I think it'll be a good format for Instagram, and we'll have Max. I'm going to try to convince Max to teach us a thing or two, because those are just some tips, but there's more. I'm sure he can share more. Okay, last question. Are farmers markets organic? I think that's a good question. Okay, I don't think any farmers markets are 100% organic, first of all. When you go to a farmers market, like a regular farmers market with a lot of different vendors who each come from and represent a different farm in the local area, so not like people who are buying groceries at the restaurant depot and bringing them to a market and selling them outdoors, because that ain't cool. But just a regular farmer's market, a bunch of different farm stands, then you have to ask people. Sometimes they'll have an organic certification, like a USDA organic certification. But that certification is extremely expensive for a reason, partly for large farms and big industry to keep small farms out of it and basically keep the business to themselves. Some farms are organic, they grow everything organic, but they can't legally call themselves organic because they don't have that little expensive label. That's another reason I like shopping at farmers markets, because you can speak to the vendors, the farmers directly. You can walk up to a farm stand and say, hey, how do you grow your kale? Or how do you grow your peaches? Do you spray? Do you use pesticides? Are you, farming organically? Whatever question you have, you can ask them. And if you really want to stick to 100% organic, local, from the farmers market, you can most likely find the farms. We're super, super blessed that we live in Los Angeles, so my options for organic and even conventionally grown produce are endless. There's a farmer's market every single day of the week here. It is like nirvana living here for a farmer's market lover. And I know it's just not like that everywhere in the country. So wherever you live, you can probably go online and find a local farmer's market. And if you don't have a local farmer's market and you have the time and you really want one in your area, maybe you can help organize one. Maybe you can be the person who gets together the farmers or other people in your community to work together to bring that to your community. So yes, that's a long answer to the question, are farmers markets organic? Honestly, I much prefer that my produce is fresh and local and from the farmer's market than if it's organic. Because a lot of times the organic produce that I buy at the grocery store is far worse condition than anything that I would buy, any conventional thing I would buy at the farmer's market. Great thing about the farmer's market also is that it's typically a lot less expensive, even the organic produce. Just saying. Also, it is not clear that organic produce is that much better for you to begin with, okay? I'm going to link to a Dr. Greger video that's all about this. I think it's important to watch. Okay, cool. Okay, so those are all the questions that I had for this Q&A with Jenné. If you have any other questions, make sure you leave them down in the comment section, especially in the first 24 hours. Leave them in the first 24 hours because that's when I go through and read all the comments and answer. If I can't get to you in time or if I missed your question, other people in the community will see it and respond, which I think is so wonderful, and I thank you guys for supporting each other. So yeah, ask me anything else you want to know, and hopefully this video is helpful for you. Hopefully you've already subscribed, but if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you leave this video a thumbs up. Share it with a friend. And yeah. I mean, that's basically all I wanted to say. This is a fun video. I like talking, obviously. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.